Ladies or gentlemen, it's that time again. Listener, welcome to the Big Fun Podcast, Episode 1.
Season 2.
Season 2, I'm Guy.
I'm Nadav.
Yeah, we're actually going to introduce ourselves. I think we did it by the end of
By
Season
the end?
1, but
yeah,
it's Season 2. You know, everything has changed, except nothing has changed. It's going to be the same.
yeah. It might. The first couple episodes are probably gonna be shit again because we're out of practice, guys.
Yeah, we're not used to this at all. And if you thought we were bad before, well, I got some for you.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna survive for an hour in this heat. It's so hot. I'm gonna die. I'm like trapped under this black, like fitted sheet thing in my 24-degree room. 24 degrees Celsius. That's like 76 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I think.
Yeah, honestly, I don't get people who are like, "Oh, it's 25 degrees. It's nice." It's like, dude, like, I'm good with like 22 to 80, to 22 to 18 to 80. I don't like to be cooked, but you know, and also I think a quick disclaimer: we're not using Celsius because we're pretentious bastards. It just seems like it because we're using the right units. But actually, though, I'm just used to Celsius. And,
yeah.
yeah.
Back in Ireland, when I lived in Ireland,
Ireland.
yeah, in Dublin, my classroom had a thermometer in it that had like different warnings beside the different temperatures. And it was like, like negative 15 degrees Celsius is like danger of hypothermia, and like 0 is like, water freezes. And like, it gave us like room temperature at like, I can't remember what it gave room temperature as, maybe like 15 degrees Celsius or something like that. That's 20.
Yeah.
At 24 degrees Celsius, they had danger of overheating, of heat stroke.
Well,
danger of heat stroke.
If you do a lot of extra, I don't know.
At 24
that
degrees,
doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay. I was about to say, yeah, it's room temperature for STP gas laws. Yeah. For those who don't know, because you're not chemistry nerds, STP in gas laws, which is the standard pressure and temperature, is 1 atmospheric pressure, which is fine, but the standard temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, which most people are not too comfortable in just regular clothes. But anyways,
it was like on Monday and next week, dude. It was like in the negative 20s here.
Yeah, that's crazy cold, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing: every summer I'm like, I'd rather it be cold, and every winter I'm like, no, I actually agree with my statement.
See, I'd rather
cold
it be
is
cold,
just better than
not
warm.
that cold.
Well, it's like you can always dress up more. This is the common argument.
Here's the thing: there is a limit to how much more you can put on, and believe me, I've reached it. I've reached that limit.
All right, man. Just stay inside and play Skyrim.
I got class. I have
Yeah.
class.
Okay, you got class, but you don't need education, right? All right. Anyways, it's the beginning of a new year, 2019. Woo!
It's almost the end of the month.
Now tell us, Nadav, the yearly special. Why is the number 2019 so special?
The number 2019 is so special because, in fact, the ancient Babylonians, right, in their hexadecimal system, devised that every 2019 years, a comet would come as close to the Earth as it is possible without burning up. Okay? Which means that sometime during this year, a comet will come very close to the Earth, and you will probably be able to see it if you're in the right position on Earth, which you're probably not. But
also, I think they hypothesized that, and I quote here, this is from the English translation, the moon will shine in the above like a great white pearl. Now, I'm not sure what this means, but I think if, put your tinfoil hat on, I think we're going to have a full moon this year.
Now that's something
that is worth celebrating. And also, 2019, fun fact, is one of the highest numbers below 2022. So,
Here's another fun fact. 2019 is the latest year of all time.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, 2019. I'm sure. I mean, I'm happy. You know, do you have a New Year's resolution, Adele?
No.
Yeah, I
No.
don't have one. I don't really understand it. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't tell people like stop celebrating just the time zone in which the sun goes around the earth goes. I messed that up. The sun goes around the earth. So, uh, I was too focused on doing the Neil voice, which I didn't get right anyways. But my point is, I don't see why you should wait a year before you start changing something about yourself. You know, like chances are, if you're that type of person, that change is never gonna happen.
Yeah, and especially because, you know, the classic New Year's resolution lasts for like 2 weeks and then
Yeah,
goes away.
yeah. So I got a small prompt here, Nadav.
All right.
What have you changed your opinions about in 2018 throughout the year?
Oh.
If yeah,
Well,
I've come prepared if you want time to think.
does it changing my opinion now?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Because like if I was uninformed and then I became informed, does that count as changing an opinion?
I think so.
Like if I learned facts?
No, I think, well, let's say you're uninformed and you're like, and you say, there are only four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. And then you become informed of modern chemistry. I would say that is changing your view, I guess, not opinion, your view. But if you just learn a fact and you haven't had established opinions about it before, that wouldn't count.
I think I'm gonna need to take some time to think about it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna heat you up with this one. So I don't remember in which episode, season 1, I said I don't really like halwa. Now, I've since changed my opinion greatly. Okay, I said, you know, you can't really have that much halwa because, you know, it's kind of dry and it doesn't even taste that good. But here's the thing. I think my experience with halwa is that I tasted, probably as a young kid, I tasted maybe bad halwa, or just I didn't like it as a kid. And ever since, I didn't think I liked halwa, so I never tasted it again. And you know, it's easy to fall into these traps because you get so used to categorizing yourself as not liking a certain food. But so, my Palestinian friends gave me some OG halwa, and I was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I was, you know, like, so I totally changed my mind about halwa. It's great. It's delicious. If you could get your hands on like actual halwa, do it. And trina, do it because it's fucking delicious.
I've got some halva in my drawer right now. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I know you have like a tub.
It's got chocolate in it.
See, I don't know. That doesn't sound that good.
Nah, dude, chocolate is.
Chocolate and halwa.
I've
It
got
doesn't.
2 dark chocolate bars that every now and then I just
I guess dark chocolate
and take
work.
a bite out of because I fucking love dark chocolate. It's so good.
Yeah. So do you got anything for us?
Well,
one more thing.
Did you change your mind on Magic the Gathering last year?
Yeah. So, you know, I wouldn't call myself a Hearthstone player, but that's pretty much the only card game of the type I had experience with. And I didn't really like it. You know, Hearthstone is pretty much pay to win, and it's kind of frustrating and boring. And then when Nadav came to town for winter break, we played some MTG, and it was actually really fun. It was great. So Magic the Gathering, I've totally changed my opinion about it. It's a great game, really fun, and I don't know. I think I won. I think I won the most.
Yeah, you did win the most.
Yeah, I had some crazy plays. I'm not gonna go too into it because maybe you listener don't know MTG, but they were really crazy. If you want to know about them, comment.
And Wizards of the Coast, if you want to sponsor this podcast, you know, I'm up for it. Even you don't even have to pay with money; you just have to pay with cards. I would take that. If you want to just put cards in my arena account.
I mean, If you listener haven't realized already, this podcast is not for profit, even if we wanted.
I think so far I'm down money based on this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean technically we're paying for bandwidth, right? So,
Well, I mean, I'm not. I'm using my college.
oh yeah,
Internet.
yeah, but you're paying your college.
Yeah.
Are you ready with something you change your mind about? Or I got one more thing.
I don't think I changed my mind last year, which, I mean, I guess is like saying it out loud kind of makes me seem like not a very open-minded person, but I don't think there was anything that really.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I changed my mind on.
Go ahead.
I don't like snow. I think I mentioned this before, but
Really?
like I don't like light snow. When it's snowing, I don't like it when it's light snowing.
Well, do you say like the snow is annoying, or what do you not like about it?
Well, when it's light snow, the thing about light snow is that like if I have my hood up and a beanie on, the light snow just like somehow flies, like it does like a U-bend under my hood and right onto my face, and it just like tickles my face, and it's so uncomfortable, and that's why I don't like light snow.
I just like snow. Well, here's the thing: if you don't have enough snow, then by the end of the day, you have like muddy puddles everywhere, and like it's too cold outside, and that kind of sucks. But like a lot of snow, like I remember when I was in Whistler a few years ago, it was a ton of snow, and we were skiing too, so that was a lot of fun.
But not too much snow, because then you can't do anything.
No. If you got too much, that's like everything shuts
and
down.
your house breaks.
Yeah.
And your pipes freeze.
Yeah.
You got something that you changed your mind on?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this website. It's called like haveibeenpwned.com, something like that. Basically tells you when your credentials have been like in some data breach or paste bin. And it's really quick. It's a lot quicker than like I would not that I get them normally or regularly, but I would get a like an alert, and only a few days later Google would announce whatever. So, I've been one of those people who just reuses their passwords, which is a really bad idea. So after a few security breaches, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop reusing my password for everything because it's like this is a time bomb, right? So I'm using a free password manager, and I gotta say it's great. I don't need to really memorize passwords anymore, and I can just yeah. It by the way, if you are a PR person for a password manager and you want to get sponsored, I'm just saying.
Hey, if you want to get if you're a thing and you want to sponsor us for literally anything, even like cigarettes, I will sell cigarettes to kids. Okay, send some money this way, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And if you're the Sun and you want to sponsor us,
the Sun, we kind of shit on the Sun before, but you know what, Sun, I think we can make a compromise. Like we can. It's 2019.
$15 million contract. Hit me up, Sun.
So, one more thing I changed my mind about. Sorry for kind of taking over here, but
it's okay.
But alcohol now. I'm not from last other podcasts. I'm not like a big on drinking. But there is one drink. Okay, so my uncle is obsessed with this drink called Moscow Mule. Now it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just a cocktail. It's like a little bit of vodka with like ginger ale, mint, ice, and that stuff like that, right? So it's like Coke and whiskey. It's not that bad, and it's actually really good. So I kind of changed my mind on that a little bit. I still don't like beer, or any. I don't like wine, but I'm starting to convert. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be drinking at every opportunity, but I'm not against doing it.
Back to like the passwords and security breach and stuff. I must be the lamest person ever, cause I never get that.
I don't know why I do get them. Well, are you signed up for that website?
No.
Well, there you go.
But like Google doesn't even like tell me like your account
Yeah,
has
but
been.
it could be, yeah, but it doesn't have to be Google. Somebody could um breach, like have a like some corporation can have a data breach where your email and password is included in there, but that doesn't have anything to do with Google.
I
I would sign
guess.
up. I would definitely sign up for that.
What's it called?
Have I been pawned? It's very popular. You can find it.
Have I been pawned? But like, none of my accounts ever been signed in. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I know, but it could be, there could still be a data breach. Like, recently actually, Spotify had a massive data breach of like, I think it was like 200,000 accounts. I may be, it was a lot. I may be not remembering
Exaggerating.
the no, not exaggerating. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot. I don't remember the
Mm.
number for sure, but um, so yeah, and somebody logged into my Spotify account and like signed himself up on like a family plan, so he gets free Spotify. But I got that, like that day I got the message from a Vibing Pond, so I changed up everything, and Spotify were nice enough to give me. I'm not even gonna say because we're not sponsored by Spotify. Fuck Spotify.
No, don't. That the
No, no, no.
twenty
Spotify,
twenty million dollar contract
Spotify,
down
we
the
like you,
drain.
but you know how we would like you more. Free sponsors. Uh, of course, I'm just kidding. There's no way we're gonna get sponsored, but yeah. Um, do you have anything to say?
Well, I don't. I don't really care if someone has like my information if they don't use it. Like,
Well, it's not about. It's about inconvenience, right? So like, somebody now logs into like, let's say if you reuse passwords, right? Somebody logs into your, say, Town of Salem account, okay? And I say this because they had a data breach recently, where my email was included. So your Town of Salem account is compromised, and then somebody's like, okay, I'm gonna just try to log into these emails, or set up a bot which tries to log into these emails using the passwords, and then it gets into your email. It's like, he's not gonna like blackmail you. He doesn't care, but you may get like bank account information, stuff like that, which is reversible, but it's like, do you really want to go through that now?
and see, I get that. It really hasn't happened before.
All right, well, I would still sign up for it. It's
Sure,
like a second, and
I might as well,
doesn't
but
cost you anything.
it's just I'm just saying it like that's how boring I am. Like
Yeah,
people don't even want to hack my. I not no. No account of mine
super.
on
Yeah,
anything has
I was
ever
about I
been
was about
hacked.
to say the name of your email. Not that I don't think it matters that much, but
Well, see, but
it's
that's like the email I used to like sign up for stuff, but it has like nothing on it. It's just my sign up email,
yeah,
and I've got 3 sign ups emails, and I've got
yeah. I got
2 personal emails. I've got so many emails, and they all have like different variations of the same password. So I never I can never sign into them on the first go, because I always have to like
mm,
go through all the different variations to try and figure out which one I used for that account.
yeah. Um, and one thing I haven't changed my mind about, if you don't mind me going off here, Nadav, um, is weight loss, right? So, um, I've always said weight loss is not complicated. People, they go to, I don't know the name in English, like diet dudes, like
Weight
diet,
Watchers.
some like that, yeah, or like life coaches, some shit like that, or like, yeah, you need to eat more protein, and make sure to eat 1 spoon of honey per day and only eat meat. And it's like, dude, like, just stop. Weight loss is conceptually easy. You eat less than you use. Like, that's it. That's all there is to it. And I'm not like fat or anything, but I was slightly overweight from not doing anything in high school. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to go down weight, and I did.
I mean,
Uh,
I think you are oversimplifying things though, because what you eat definitely plays a role.
yeah, okay. So let me say this: you don't want to eat stuff that's high in calories and won't keep you filled, unless you're fine with being hungry, which to some extent you need to be, right? So So I would say the major thing that's difficult is getting used to being hungry.
Over the past year, I have dropped under 140 pounds.
140.
Yeah, under.
Well, you're a pretty lean guy, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm underweight now.
Hmm.
Because I'm vegan, right?
Yeah.
And at college, there isn't always great amount of options for me to eat. So
Yeah.
I usually have like a salad and some pasta and maybe a bit of whatever's around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like salad is not exactly a very high
Yeah.
calorie food.
It's not.
So whatever I eat, like I use it all. But
Yeah.
I'm not hungry. Like I eat enough to satisfy myself.
Yeah. Here's. Sorry. Do you want to keep going?
I'm still losing weight. So what
Okay.
you eat definitely plays a role.
Here's something I've noticed. Okay. It's super easy to get into routines of calorie intake and how much you eat. What I mean by that, let's say every day you eat like a full lunch, like a whole bowl of like pasta with like sauce and then you eat a little bit of dessert, maybe nibble on chocolate, whatever. Your your stomach, I don't know actually like the actual biology of it, but your stomach is used to being at that size, right? Now, if you don't eat, or if you eat like under 300 calories or 500 calories, just for one day, your stomach will shrink, and you will not be able to eat these huge amounts anymore. At least that's for me. So let's say that bowl of pasta, I would only be able to eat one third, and then after 1 hour, I'll be hungry again, and then I'll eat one third again. So the point is, your you change to be it can be difficult to make the step from eating a lot or eating little, but once you make it, it's pretty easy to keep on track, I think.
During winter break, when I went back home, right, I started eating a lot more food.
Yeah.
And for like a week, it was okay. But then like the next week, I got like super sick, and I just like couldn't eat anything for 3 days. And afterwards, I had to eat very small amounts because my body just couldn't take that much food anymore.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny because sometimes I would like so I'm used to eating a certain amount of food now. By no means I didn't eat like a shit ton of food, but like, a regular sized meal. And I would load it up on my plate and then I wouldn't be able to finish it. So I'll have to remind myself to not put so much on the plate. So yeah, if you're struggling with your weight, unless you have some disease, I'm gonna say this may be controversial, but it's not that hard. It's not. You know what? And during the time, the most weight I lost, I wasn't even doing regular exercise. Because the problem is when you do exercise, your muscles need material to rebuild themselves, and you
Yeah,
can't
you need
afford
to eat
it.
a lot more.
Yeah, you can't. So here's what I say, right? You either gain mass or you lose mass. You can't do both, right? So you can't lose fat and gain muscle. Okay? I mean, I don't know if the science of
Well,
it, but
I mean,
that's what it seems like to me.
you lose some fat and gains like muscle, right? But like
But
you can't have muscle without fat.
but my point is you can't lose weight and gain muscle.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work like that because your muscles need like the extra energy to repair themselves. And if you're not eating enough energy because you want to reduce your calorie intake, then they can't repair themselves. And I've noticed after like exercise, if I didn't eat properly, I would just be sore for like 2 days, 3 days. So I was like, okay, and I didn't actually let myself continue being sore. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna eat, let my muscles repair themselves, and then yeah.
Also,
So yeah,
it turns out muscles are heavy.
yeah, they're heavier than fat.
Yeah.
So yeah, weight loss really, I don't think it's that difficult, but
I think
I could
well
I could see with
a lot of the difficulty I think comes from these eating disorders like bulimia and stuff. right?
Yeah, eating disorders, that's like a totally different thing. And something that's also important, speaking of disorders, is being able to control your new powers. So, I know of some people, not many, but they would diet, right? And they would lose weight, and they wouldn't be able to stop because they've already gotten accustomed to their new lifestyle. So, I kind of tested myself. Okay, so I went to Israel. So I was like, okay, over Israel, I'm gonna try to maintain my weight. So that was 2 weeks, and I managed to. So I was like, okay, I can control it. I can maintain my weight, and I can lose it when I want to. And don't get me wrong, like losing weight does take effort, right? I need to consciously do it, but it's not. I don't think it's that difficult, unless you have a disorder, as Nadav said.
Well, I think we beat that dead horse enough.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Sure. Yeah. Do you have anything for us?
I think we should do some PSAs, some
What
public
PSA?
service announcements.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
First one, I find a lot of people haven't seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I think this is a tragedy. If you haven't seen this movie yet, go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's super funny. It's hilarious. I love it.
I have not seen it.
It's
Let me
a
look it up
classic.
right now.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It's a true iconic classic. I mean, it's not like a really like the story is dumb, but it's funny and that's what matters, right? Like also the Twilight Zone, the old original Twilight Zone. Like people are all like, "Oh, gaga about Black Mirror." No, go watch the Twilight Zone, okay? Then tell me Black Mirror is so clever.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I think I watched it once upon a time.
Yeah, it's a classic. Everyone has to have watched it.
It's not. I mean, it's all right. It's
All right,
okay.
watch it again now that you're older, and you'll understand it more.
All right.
It's funny. It's good.
I believe you. Do you want to hear something totally off topic?
What?
So very recently, American bread is shit. Like
American cheese is shit.
American cheese is shit too, but American bread, like it's pretty much glue sticks. And if you go to Europe for any amount of time and you have bread there, especially a place like Paris, and you come back, like American bread is disgusting. Like it's not good. I don't know how they manage, but it's not good. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make bread. Like how hard could it be? Not that hard. I made some bread, and it was really good. I made some more bread today. I made some challah, and it's good.
Are you gonna put your recipe in the description?
I just used some recipe online.
Are we gonna link it in the description?
Nah, it's just Google like challah recipe and
Okay.
yeah. So yeah,
They're not
making bread is
sponsoring
easy,
us,
and
so.
trust me, guys, it's gonna fill the house with like really nice smell, and it's delicious. Great.
If you live in a dorm like me, though, good
Dude,
luck.
here's the thing. If you live the dorm life and you have a kitchen and you can actually cook, everyone will be your friend. Just saying.
See, my dorm doesn't have a kitchen. My dorm has the dining hall. One of the other dorms has a kitchen. But, like, getting there is such a pain, and it's, like, in the basement, and it's not that big.
That sucks.
Yeah.
All right, you got a topic for us? Maybe
You don't have any PSAs of your own?
Not really, man. I mean,
all right. Well, we can move on then. Sometime during season 1, we were talking about post-scarcity societies.
yes.
And this is a question I posed to you and Kevin when we had dinner that one time. But
I think I did, but I'm not sure. Okay.
well, I posed this question: if there was an alien empire, right, that had come to Earth, and they were willing to take us into their fold, right, of their post-scarcity society, would you help them or would you hinder their efforts to bring Earth under their control?
Yeah.
Because remember, they live in a post-scarcity society. All your needs will be met, and you don't have to do anything. But you will be under the rule of some alien life form, and humanity wouldn't have been able to reach that state on its own.
Yeah, and I think it's a great question. I mean, disclaimer, right? Obviously, the scenario doesn't make any sense, and you could argue in order to get into like a space traveling civilization, they would need to go through like biological competition, and then they wouldn't be able to sustain an economy like that. Blah 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 blah. Like we know, we know. To answer the question, I think um, here's the thing: if I go, would I be with any one of my Earthling comrades?
Well, that's the thing, right? So they want to take Earth under their banner. They want to make Earth one of their
Oh,
planets, right? Now, some people would be for it, and some people would be
yeah,
against it.
dude. I'll
Would
say go ahead.
you'd be for it?
How I see it, and people have different opinions. A post scarcity economy. I mean, that's basically what we're shooting for even now. I mean, everything that drives innovation and what we're doing is because of scarcity, right? And because of the need to eliminate it. But then, yeah, I think that's what I would do. I would continue to study science and play video games
But like
and do combat sports.
they're a spacefaring nation that have eliminated scarcity. You think they'll need your feeble mind and your
Well,
lack of
I'm not saying it
knowledge
would
in
contribute, but
scientists?
I would want to know everything that they do.
I see. But you wouldn't want humanity to like discover that stuff on their own. Would you really be okay with just like being subservient to these alien masters?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I was just trying to I was just trying to do a devil's advocate
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. But I mean, I could see people having that opinion.
For sure, yeah. Some
But
people would say, I'll let you speak, Nadav, only when I want you to. Go ahead, go ahead.
well, I don't think it's a valid opinion. It's like when people say like, without like suffering, we couldn't have happiness. Like
Nah, that's not true.
bullshit. Okay, that is such a selfish
Well,
response.
just consider, you could say, and I think this is valid. Some people say humans are meant to explore things, right? And others say humans are made for exploration. So it's the exploration itself that they think is the most important. So they could say, since we're not allowed to discover these things for ourselves, we're at a lack of meaning. But I don't think it's true.
I don't think so either. It's because we have had a discussion about what we think meaning is, but even if I
Yeah.
did think that was what meaning was, like the more like the more knowledge we have, the more doors like you close on stuff, the more doors you open.
Yeah, it's like the expanding circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, here's if you could ask like one question about science, and you would have it like fully explained, what would you ask?
Oh God. I
The
guess
thing is, you probably don't know enough to ask the right question.
yeah. Like right now, I guess I would say like what came before and then caused the Big Bang.
Maybe what is dark gravity? Maybe
Well,
maybe
see, I think
quantum shit. Explain it to me.
well, the thing is, if I had like the knowledge, like that knowledge of what came before and what caused it, like, that's a big thing.
Hmm. Yeah, and it would be very profound if they said, "We don't know."
But you said that they would explain it perfectly, and
Yeah, but
it
yeah,
would
if
be
they know it,
answered.
if they know it,
But that, fuck you.
or if they say, "We can't know." Mm.
That then I would take my question back. I would do
I
another one.
take it back. Let me ask them that. They'll let you. They're nice
Yeah,
aliens.
I mean,
Yeah,
oh, it's aliens now. It's the same aliens.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're well. I mean, yeah, they want to
You
take
don't
us
have a
into their.
scarcity of questions. One other thing I wanted to revisit. We were talking about how consciousness allegedly affects quantum interactions and wave forms and or particle forms.
Right, observer effect.
Uh, yeah. and I watched some interview of Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said it's not consciousness, it's just that by observing it, light interacts with it and knocks it out of its path. And
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, but I'm saying, how does light knocking it out of its path causes it to not be a wave and be a particle? Like, what? I mean, I probably don't understand it enough, but um, right now, with my knowledge, it doesn't make sense.
That's the thing. It doesn't make any sense because
Yeah.
if you have a camera looking at it, camera doesn't have consciousness, but it still affects. It's so fucking.
No, no, his point was
Yeah.
in order to observe it, you need some light to interact with it, and the photons knock the particles out of their path. But then my question is, okay, now how does just applying momentum to it cause it to go into particle form?
Well, because that's the thing, guy. What you don't understand is that there isn't a particle form and a wave form.
It's the same thing.
It's always both. It's a wave.
Yeah, yeah, superposition. And probably, hopefully, in our lifetime, we will come up with a better explanation for this stuff, a better model.
Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, we live at exciting times, guys.
You know, that's an old Chinese curse.
What?
I hope you live in exciting times. Interesting times, I think it actually is.
Oh, because like it's war.
Well, because like boring times are like calm and
It's like times
peaceful.
of change and
Yeah, you know, they're always harder.
Yeah. And I think I said this before, but on dark gravity, I'm not gonna call it dark matter because we don't know if it's matter. Dark gravity. What kind of boggles my mind is, so we see dark gravity everywhere, right? But if we can see it we don't see it, we detect it everywhere. If we detect it everywhere, it must be here too. So like, where is it? You know?
Well, if you're calling it gravity, dark gravity, right? The
Yeah.
the issue with that is that gravity isn't really a thing, right? Gravity is a result of the geometry of space.
Yeah.
Even though it's counted as a fundamental force, it isn't a force.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wouldn't be able to see dark gravity either, because if it's dark gravity, I don't know why you're calling it that.
I do have a theory about it. I don't know if it's correct. It's probably not. It's probably misinformed. Do you want to hear it? And it's also about the constant speed of light.
All right, sure, shoot.
So here's my theory. And I'm not going to go too into it because without a diagram it would be impossible to envision. But so what I think is that these properties or light, so let's stick with light for a second. I think light exists in higher spatial dimensions than we can observe. Okay? And because we can only observe light interaction in three-dimensional space, it seems to have constant velocity everywhere, but in actuality, in its correct dimensions of space, it makes more sense. And I think the same thing is with dark gravity. You know, people like Alex Jones would tell you, or like, you know, maybe some scientists would tell you like, it's gravity that's bleeding into our universe from other universes. I don't think that's true, but I think maybe it's a gravitational field of a higher spatial dimension that's interacting with our three-dimensional spatial dimension. Now, if what I said doesn't make any sense to you, listener, that's okay.
I don't think I agree with that. Just gonna put that out there.
Okay. Why not?
Well, light existing on a higher, like I mean like. I don't see the problem with what light does.
That it has constant velocity?
Yeah, I mean it's light.
Why?
Well, that's just how light is.
Yeah, but that's exactly my point. It doesn't make sense according to our. So it's like, why is light different? Why does it act that way?
Well, because
yeah, you could say that's just
different,
how.
but different
I,
particles have different properties.
I understand.
Right? And
I know what you're saying. But that's just my position. But I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I have something I want to talk about too. Are you aware how big the universe is?
Very.
Do you know like around how big?
Well, it's getting bigger.
It is getting bigger, but you know like.
Like the observable universe, how big?
Yeah. Well.
I don't even know. I don't know.
So according to current thinking, it's about 93 billion light years across.
93 billion.
93 billion light years across. And
God.
here's the thing.
90...
They found...
Wait. I just want to take... Sorry, Nadav. I just want to take a second to appreciate that distance. You know, we hear billions being tossed around all the time, right? Like, this guy's a billionaire. This is like billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. But like, what was it? 98 billion?
93 billion light years.
93 billion light years.
Uh-huh.
Just close your eyes and just imagine that for a second.
That means light traveling from one end of the universe to the other.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even reach the other side in 93 billion years because the universe would have expanded further.
Yeah. 93 billion that year. So I'm sorry, Nadav. Yes, go ahead.
And here's the thing. The expansion of the universe is accelerating.
Yeah.
It's getting faster as it expands. But the point I was going to make is they've found a galaxy.
Far, far away.
It is about, like, I think 1% of the mass of our galaxy.
Okay.
And it's the oldest thing they've found in the universe.
Oh.
Can you guess how long ago they've detected it existed? Now, here's the thing: the universe is 13.8 billion years old.
Okay. I would say 12 billion years old.
No.
Okay.
The oldest galaxy in the universe. Okay, it's called GNZ11. All right.
Yes. A sexy name, yes.
Yeah. It's 32 billion light years away.
Yep.
So it's
very
about a third of the
observable universe
away. Yeah. Somehow we've seen it, though,
Yeah.
even though it's 1/25th the size of our galaxy and has 1% of the mass. So still somehow we saw it. It as far as I'm aware, I might be totally mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it was reported as 13.4 billion light years. It's not what. Sorry. 13.4 billion years. Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
So it was around about 400 million years after the Big Bang.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Going back, kind of to not morality. I'll just say the question. Say we have teleporters in the future, and these teleporters can deconstruct you atom by atom and reconstruct you somewhere.
If teleporters kill you and remake?
Yeah, would you use them?
Yeah.
Now, see, I'm not sure because it's like you could say no, you just reappear on the other side. There's no change. But
what does it matter if it's you who gets to the other side?
I know exactly what you mean.
A different you who has all of your memories. That's the same you.
I know exactly what you mean, but it's this, and their consciousness is identical, but it's like I can't explain it. Like it doesn't make logical sense. Because, the exact same consciousness and form will appear in another location. But you don't want to die to do that. But you won't actually die. But, it's kind of...
Well, but then the question becomes, what is death, right? Because, like, sleep.
Right.
Sleep is the little death.
Well, an orgasm is the little death.
No, sleep. Sleep, man.
Dude, in French, orgasm is... I think le petit mot.
Yeah, but sleep the same thing about teleporters is the same. It could be the same about sleep, right?
Sure.
And your cells.
So you're saying
your cells die off
yeah.
and get replaced all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So what does it actually truly mean to die?
That's a good question.
Because even when you're
dead.
dead.
So let's say that when you slept you died, but nobody knew. That wouldn't affect how you live your life.
It wouldn't.
But also that would mean that technically, I mean, what is death, right? Tonight you will die.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, wait, what? No, but I slept all these nights before and I didn't die. You didn't die.
That wasn't you sleeping.
And yet you did.
And
so I guess the question is a perfect copy, and I mean perfect copy, of you.
I think so.
Okay. So then there are two of you.
Mm-hmm.
So then isn't it reasonable that one of you wouldn't want to die?
Well, as long as one of us survives, I don't think it really matters.
Really? But you both have the same will to live because you're perfect copies.
Yeah, but we have the will that Nadav Shaibe would live. Right? Like if there was 1,000 clones of me, right? I could just be another clone. It wouldn't matter. And if 1,000 were to die, then one would survive. And it wouldn't matter which one would survive because it would be as if any of them had survived.
Yeah. But it's still like, they all have the same will to live. So it's like, are they, at the moment they're created, right? Are they distinct? Are they, like, it's difficult to think about because they're different entities. By the way, can you hear a thing in the background?
I don't think so.
Okay. They're different entities. They exist in different spatial locations. So they're not completely identical.
And that's the problem, right? So with a teleporter, only one exists at a time. So it is entirely identical, so it does not matter. But
Give me a second to just close my window.
I'll keep talking while you do that. But when you have multiple clones at one time, then they all have different experiences, which make them no longer the same person. Because you can't. They would see different things, they would feel different things, they would hear different things, right? And that would slowly shape their thoughts in different ways. So to the point where they would no longer think the same, given enough time. So given enough time, they would no longer they would no longer be the same Nadav Shaibe that they were before.
See, I completely agree with that, but I'm talking about the moment they're cloned. The moment that happens, so let's say they're frozen, their consciousness, like everything is frozen. The moment they're cloned, that's where I ask all these questions. Because once they, quote unquote, wake up or start to experience things, they're fundamentally different. Right? They're not the same anymore. But when they're exactly the same, I think it's reasonable for both of them to want to survive.
Well, let's think about it like this, right? Say I've got 1,000 clones, like in a lab somewhere, okay, but none of them are awake yet, right? And when I die, my memories will be uploaded to clone number 1, and then clone number 1 will awake, he will do his thing, and then when he dies, all of his memories will be uploaded to clone number 2.
Yeah, and I see what you mean.
Right.
Okay, so.
Well, like, am I still living at that point?
So here's the thing. I think we have to make a distinction between your consciousness living and your physical form living, because I think what's really happening here is, at least in the traditional teleportation question, you have two physical bodies which have they're identical, but that doesn't matter. They could, whatever, but they have identical consciousness, right? And when the consciousness is identical, why do you need both, right? So what was your question regarding
But what is consciousness except, how your past has shaped your thinking?
That's exactly what it is, but I'm saying it's reasonable for me to not use the teleporter so I don't die.
Why?
Because even though another version of me is created, it is different. It's not me.
But it's not
There are
different.
there are two of me, and we're exactly the same, but there are two of me, and they both want to survive.
It's not different at all. I think that it's a ridiculous notion. You're giving up so
I'm
much
not saying I'm
convenience.
saying okay. I'd like to reword. They're not. They're exactly the same, which is why they both want to survive.
I think it depends on the person, because I believe as long as one of me survives, I've survived.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
not hundreds of me have to survive for me to survive.
And by the way, if you're reader, I was about to say listener, if you're writing a novel, like this would be a pretty good idea. I'm just thinking about it right now. Like a society where like there are teleporters. Some people use them, some people don't for different reasons, and kind of build the world around that. And
I actually have a class called Time. It's about time, if you couldn't guess. And in it,
what about Rosemary?
I have to write either a 10 to 20 page research paper or the same amount but a story. I'm pretty sure I can write a story.
Wait, that's sick.
And I'm probably going to write a story, and it's got to be a story that has, elements of time in it, like time has to be a pretty major theme.
Yeah, dude, you should write about what we just talked
Well, I was wondering if you could help me get some ideas, because I don't know what I want to play around with yet.
Yeah, totally.
Because
I have a feeling we're gonna go in circles. So I don't think we should do it on air.
Well, we have 8 minutes left of the podcast, anyways.
Yeah.
So,
let's see if I have something quick to close with.
While he's searching, I'm just gonna reiterate how much I love Skyrim. I love Skyrim so much. I've been playing Skyrim a lot this past week. It's such a great game. Honestly, just superb. I mean, there's a lot of bugs and stuff, but mods help a lot. And there's so much replayability.
I have something quick to talk about. And by the way, I agree, like Skyrim, I would play more if it didn't crash like every 5 minutes. You
need the special edition.
Sure, but like I'm not gonna buy Skyrim again. Like, whatever. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about, and I guess you can't really respond because you don't have it in front of you. But my roleplay system, I've been working on it a lot, and it's been shaping up, and I think it's pretty good. I haven't gotten to playtest too much. I playtested a little bit, but unfortunately we didn't have time to playtest it well. Everybody was in town in winter break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sucks. But I've renamed it since.
It's no longer Burp.
It's no longer Burp. Unfortunately, I was like Burp. Like, I guess it's kind of funny, but like, I want something that sounds good when people propose it. Because when you say, "Do you want to play Burp?" you don't think, oh, it's a funny name because it's making a comment about how all the other roleplay systems have like really edgy names. You're just thinking, oh, it's a dumb name, which it is. So I just renamed it Death or Glory, which is also a song by The Clash. Yeah. I was like listening to music and I saw Death or Glory, which by the way, I don't think The Clash are good, but and I skipped the song, but I was like, that's a good name. DOG.
Who's a good musician?
I do.
Yeah, it's Billy Joel.
It's Billy Joel. Hell yeah! I've recently rediscovered his song Vienna, and I've been playing it a lot.
Vienna is Billy Joel's favorite Billy Joel song.
Dude, Vienna is great. It's such a good song.
Damn. Yeah, it's pretty good. But my favorite will always be the Down Eastern Alexa. There's something about it. Yeah.
All right. What about I think we've had this talk before. Definitely.
Yeah.
The Stranger, Leave a Tender
Yeah.
Moment
The
Alone.
Stranger
Yeah.
is really good.
We
The
both
Legend
like
of the legend
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar is good, but The Legend of Billy the Kid. You familiar with that?
Hmm.
I really like that
Uh,
song. I think it's really good.
so we have 5 minutes left. Maybe let's do This Week We Learned.
This week we learned.
Yeah.
This year
So
I learned.
this year, yeah.
This week I learned. What did I learn this week?
I can go first. If you
Yeah,
want.
you should have a go.
Well, I learned math about Taylor series. That's pretty much it. Pretty extremely boring. I know. Trying to think of something worthy. I guess English classes online, at least in my college, is so much easier than English classes on campus. Because on campus, it's like a complete waste of time. And online, it's just like, do this assignment. It's like, oh,
Well, that's just how English class is, right?
yeah, like English class, it's a waste of time, guys. It's a waste of time.
If you're majoring in English, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with? But to be fair, I think I do have some time in my schedule next quarter, and I may take creative writing or something like that because I like writing. I think it's fun. Maybe do that a little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad. But
Just have a class to like hold you accountable, right?
yeah, I'm gonna have to
Oh.
write a lot if I want to write that story for time.
But yeah, you know what? Oh, I wrote. So I wasn't in English. I was in some class, and the teacher said like, if what you're writing about isn't interesting, like just place a gun on the table, like make something. So it's like, so I was like, place a gun, like, and I was bored out of my mind in that class. So I think it was, um, I don't even remember. So I just wrote like a short story. I think it was like in 30 minutes, like 1,500 words about a dude who's stuck in a room. It's just like an interrogation room. Everything is gray. He's sitting in a metal chair. And then there is a blackout. And then light turns back on. And then the door opens. And in comes a guy with a gun. And he puts it on the table in front of him. What happens next? You can find out. Link in the description below.
I thought that the point of that story was that the next class you brought a gun and you just put it on your desk.
Well, it is America, so but I feel like it's overdone at this point. It's a cliche and a trope, so yeah. But Nadav, you should try to read it. It's pretty bad, and I mean it's great, and it's.
Speaking of bad things, today I read My Immortal. Are you familiar with My Immortal?
No.
Oh my! How can you not know My Immortal? It's a piece of Harry Potter. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
Oh no! Is it Harry Potter fan fiction?
It's even worse than the communist one I sent you. Like the communist one I sent you was like really bad, but My Immortal is like the classic bad one. It's like pretty old at this point.
What is it about?
It's about this girl called Enobi Dementia Darkness something
What
way or something. It's
like some anime name.
It's are you familiar with Internet Historian on YouTube?
I've heard about his. I've not watched any of his.
Well,
videos.
he's done a reading of most of the story with really good editing, in the background. So if you want to like not read it and just listen to it, it's really funny. So I do recommend that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And you should read at least like a few lines of my stupid story.
Sure. Today I actually learned this today. Trump is maybe gonna make the government come back for a while until like February 15th.
Man, I don't even know what's happening.
I kind of miss the government. Government, please come back.
Yeah, it's extremely stupid. It's like, guys, can you like do your job things?
Are you aware that they've got like little kids working in like airport security now, like the TSA?
Yeah. Hey guys, can you like govern? Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
2 of my aunts are like not working now because
Damn, dude.
there's no job.
And you know, many people are like, Trump is like, he's a businessman. Every move he makes is calculated. You know what I think? I think Trump is kind of clueless,
He's a little
and
baby.
he's getting paid millions, billions and billions of dollars, so corporations can put his name on their stuff.
He's a little baby.
Like he clearly is clueless.
You didn't build my wall, so I'm gonna throw a tantrum and
Let
not
me
let
tell you
anything
something.
happen.
Let me tell you something. Okay, the wall will make America great. There have been people coming here and stealing our jobs. What we will do is... Okay, I'm sorry.
I thought Mexico was supposed to pay for it. And besides, Trump has done more to steal jobs from, like, my family than any immigrants have so far.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should start wrapping up.
No, I was about to say
right,
what we're going to talk about next time, but I don't,
we should do that. What are we going to talk about next time?
Next time, we're going to talk about... Well, actually, though, China. I think we should. I have some interesting stuff about China.
I have a question about China to ask, and maybe this is something we can research and the reader can research.
Okay.
Are you aware that China has one time zone? Even though it...
There we go then. We're gonna close on that.
Wait, no. There's...
Oh, okay.
well, China has one time zone, even though it's...
There we go.
Over 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the question. What time zone does Hong Kong use?
And we're gonna close on that.
All right.
Listener, thank you so much for listening and coming back for season 2. If you're new, I mean, welcome. You're gonna leave. I don't know why you made it this far, but thank you so much for listening. Nadav, what do they need to do?
You need to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon if you want to get notifications, that like button, that thumbs up, smash it so it's blue, and then smash it again, and then smash it again so it's blue again. Then go down in the comments and type out how much you love this episode, and then do it again a bunch of times.
Yep, and get us a sponsorship, pay us. Check us out on Patreon. We don't actually have a Patreon. Do all that stuff.
Send us money on PayPal. And in the comment section, write out your mother's maiden name and the number on her credit card.
Number, something like that. But legit though, if you guys have any question, if you guy or girl have any questions that you do want us to address, you can leave a comment. You can email us. We respond to all of our comments. You can see in other videos we get 0 comments. We don't respond to.
That's not true. One of my friends made a comment, and
we will respond to you. We will respond to you.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I will personally pin all your comments.
Dragging down for way too long. We'll see you in the next episode, which, if I remember my arithmetic, is episode 2. We'll see you later. So.
Bye-bye.